Hi, I'm James Warren from Remax Realty Team. Happy holidays. As we're progressing into the holiday season, I get a lot of requests. We love to entertain here at our house, and people always ask, how do you get ready for parties? How do you start the process? Well, we're going to give you a little inside peek. Very few people get to come into my home. I'm a very private person, so we're welcoming you here into my house today to see how we start taking care of our crystal and getting it ready for the holiday season. So today we're going to talk about crystal. Have a couple examples today. We have some Waterford of different varieties, some Tiffany and Company, and we also have my grandmother's wedding crystal, which is Cambridge Chantilly pattern that we keep. We do keep it all in closed cabinets, but as you know, as it sits, dust collects, it gets a little bit of a buildup on it, and you need to clean it again before the holidays. So I'm going to show you how we do that. Start with really, really hot water. That's the key to getting crystal clean and to getting it dry quick. So we have a stainless steel sink. So what we're going to do at the bottom of the sink, we are going to stop the sink up to hold water. We're going to put a few old heavy terry cloth towels in the bottom. What this will do when you set the crystal in, it's going to give it some cushion, so it's not going to chip, you're not going to have any breaks. It's going to make the process really easy. So we're going to start that. I always recommend using Dawn detergent. I've tried detergents over the years of other varieties. They never seem to do as good as Dawn. So as this fills up, we're going to put in just a small amount of Dawn. We don't really want a lot, but what we are going to put in is we're going to put probably about a half a cup of vinegar, maybe a little bit more in there. Give it a good shot of vinegar. Vinegar helps with the Dawn dissolve the grease, and we just use regular food grade vinegar. You don't have to use the household variety. Keep that in there. It does smell a little bit. I think it smells good, but we're going to go ahead and start the process. You can use a sponge, you can use another towel. A lot of times, even with the wash process, I like a good old feed sack or flour sack. This will actually give a little bit of cushion, but it also has a little bit of a grit to it that'll help clean it but won't scratch the crystal. So when we're start putting the crystal in, keep in mind, start just moving it around, sloshing the water around. And if you want, Liz, you can come on over and you can take a look. And I'm going to stack these in just as the water fills up. And as you can see, it's got Dawn in it. You might add just a little bit more. To give it the suds. Here in South Florida, we have very, very hard water. We don't treat our water here at the house, but we do watch how much soap and make sure we rinse it off. So we've got a good amount of water there. I'm going to shift this over with a lighter rinse. I'm going to take my, naturally I like French Bulldog, so it's a Frenchy towel. I'm going to use this to wash the crystal. And again, I only put a piece or two in to keep the crystal in, giving it a nice clean around the top and the edges. And go in, especially if the crystal's got a lot of cut, kind of want to rub in those cuts because the dust does collect in those as well. So that one's good. We're going to give it a really good rinse. I don't believe in a rinse or soaking. And then we're going to go back over and we're going to set the piece on a really good, heavy quality terry towel. That way it'll sit, it's going to rest on that, and it's not going to chip. We have stone countertops, so we have to make sure we don't press too hard. You don't want to chip the edges of your crystal. Someday we'll do another episode on how to fix the chipped rims on crystal. With your stemware, always try to support the stem. As you can see, this is a newer Waterford variety, and the stem is very, very thin through here, and it's very fragile. They are quite durable for crystal, but at the same token, they can be a little top heavy, and you want to give them some support as well. I'm just going to let these sit there. I'm going to do one more so you guys can get an idea. Again, these are quite old. As I mentioned, they were my grandmother's crystal from her wedding. So they tend to be quite fragile, and you really want to be careful. Not a lot of pressure on these. Contrary to some beliefs, I personally think as glass ages, sometimes it does get more brittle and fragile. And we don't use these a lot because they are pretty fragile, but we do occasionally use these. I'm going to give it a good rinse. Now, to keep yourself from getting spots, I don't recommend washing more than 3 or 4 pieces at a time, and start to let them air dry. The key here is to start the drying process. So when we start drying these, a good flour sack type towel to help get these nice and clean. But if you let these air dry, the problem you're going to find is you get residue inside. As you can see, it's already starting to get condensation. That condensation builds up and you'll get spots on your glass. So a real good drying, make sure you rub them down, get into all the spots, and a real good turn with just a little bit of pressure. That'll polish the glass nicely, and it'll give you, and I don't know whether you can see, no spots. So that's a good, perfectly clean glass. And then let me go in and do this one as well so you can see. And I'll hold 2 of these up. They were in the same cabinet. And again, these you want to take just a little bit more care of, because as I say, I think they get a little more brittle as they get older. And these polish up just as nice. And I don't know whether you can see, this one is unwashed and this is the washed one. So you can see this one clearly has more shine and sparkle to it, and it'll look much better on your table. Just remember, always use that vinegar. That's a great tip that I've always used in the water that'll help the glass get cleaner. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing what you do for your holiday table. As always, if you find this tag on Facebook or so forth, please post a picture of your table and tag us. We'd love to see what you do in your home. Talk to you soon and have a great day. Bye-bye now.